All right, what's good? What's good? Welcome to the Epic Entertainment Critics. I am Antoine,
I am still James.
and we just did our review on Avengers Endgame. Check it out. I am going to upload it later though because I was streaming on my other channel and didn't know it, but that's fine. I am going to upload the video because it still was recording. So I'm going to upload that on this channel. And right now, we're just going to do our spoiler discussion, which is what everybody came to see anyway.
Right.
All right. So we can go ahead and jump on in, man. Spoiler discussion. So, as everybody know, this movie left off, I'm sorry, the first movie, Infinity War, left off where Thanos got uh, got all the Infinity Stones, snapped his fingers, and wiped out half the population. So Thanos completed his mission and and Thanos pretty much won that movie, but
Oh
it
yeah.
only took out half the Avengers. He still had Iron Man. I'm sorry. Yeah, he was. Oh, we didn't even talk about Tony Stark in the last one. Okay. We still got Iron Man, Captain America, Black Widow, War Machine, Thor, Rocket Raccoon, Nebula. I think that's about it. So, and I guess Scott Lang,
Yeah.
Ant-Man,
Hawkeye and Widow.
Hawkeye and Widow.
Excuse
I
me.
said Widow, Hawkeye.
Ronin in Widow.
Well,
Excuse me.
okay, now it's Ronan. Okay, so so with that being said, oh, and Captain Marvel. So with that being said, everybody said to themselves, "Well, okay, all you got to do is take the heroes that's left, find Thanos, beat his ass, take the gauntlet. Oh, and also Bruce Banner the Hulk. Take the gauntlet and snap the fingers and bring the people back, or make him snap his fingers and bring the people back. Right?
Right.
That's easy, right? We got this,
You
And
know, it's a 5 minute movie. We good.
and the thing is, they got that shit out the way with real quick. They
Yeah.
kind of let you know it ain't gonna be that easy, real fucking quick. Because guess what? That's exactly what they did. They got their team together. They got everybody that was left. They went found Thanos, and when they got there, the stones were gone. What happened to the stones?
Homeboy snapped him out of existence.
So he used the stones to get rid of the stones, so they couldn't even do nothing to bring them back. Now, mind you, this is a spoiler discussion, so I'm sorry if y'all didn't know that, because we spoiled the shit out this shit. And this is the thing. Well, I said they got that out the way with so quick because the whole time you'd be like, why don't they just, well, they took that away from your ass like in the first 10
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah. But like, especially like when they follow that up by immediately letting you know, oh, by the way, these folks ain't okay.
Right.
Jumping straight into the pain.
Right. And they did something. They actually had Thanos, and matter of fact, well, this is a spoiler discussion. They fucking killed Thanos in the first 15 minutes. Like, as soon as they found out he had no stones, Thor said, "Fuck that! I'm aiming for the head this time." Which is like a nice
Oh.
callback to the last movie because that was his biggest regret, not aiming for the head. So
And even like seeing that moment, like how hard it hit Thor too, man. Like just
right. I didn't know that he was so broken up, but I saw that on the trailer where he just looked like he was just kind of like sad or whatever. But I was like, well, he can be cool when it's time to fight. He always cool when it's time to fight. But
yeah,
no, that shit bothered him for like the whole movie. He like it he couldn't even keep it together for real. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk about Thor a little bit later. uh, so let's talk about after the decimation, what happened to people. Where I could say, where we could talk about the characters, and then we could say specifically what changed about them. So starting with Captain America, he was doing like grief counseling, and
so
I
like
said,
go ahead.
well, I was gonna say, well, he's so perfect for that because he always know how to give people positive words and shit. You know what I'm saying? He's so pep talky. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like that he's made for that shit. You know what I'm saying?
But like also in another way, that's his way of paying homage to Sam. You know,
Oh yeah,
since
yeah, yeah.
Falcon's
That's right.
gone,
He
and that's
was
what
doing
he
that.
was doing after he left the service was helping other people through it.
Right,
So like seeing Cap take up that mantle as well.
right. I mean,
Is,
well, I'm just saying he's also perfect at it, perfect for
oh
it
yeah,
because that's what he do. He brings people up. You know, so he'll talk you up, and if you need somebody to talk to, he the one to talk to. You know, so
yep.
I like that. And then you got when I said Black Widow was kind of like the mother of the group. She still was trying to hold what's left of the people together, and and still trying to basically try to hold what's left of the Avengers together, and still try to help people that needed help around the world or whatever. So they kind of had like a little co-op between anybody. I don't. I guess would you say they all were still Avengers, or they all just like we just gonna pretty much gonna keep in communication, and then we gonna help people around the world. So they
I
weren't
mean,
technically Avengers though. I guess.
like it seems like they're just out there putting out fires. I don't know if they're even willing to use the name anymore. And
Right. I mean because they had like a Koye, um, Captain Marvel, Raccoon, like everybody was out in different places, you know. So, like I said, Black Widow was kind of like the mother of the group, kind of keeping the Avengers. Like she was kind of like in at the command center, and
yeah,
everything kind of went through her. So I thought that was
but you
good the way they
also get
used
to
her.
see kind of how in that moment how she's been affected. It's like there's an earthquake in the Pacific Ocean. Well, how do we handle it? It's an earthquake in the Pacific Ocean. We handle it by not handling.
Yeah,
It's like okay, you don't have to keep everything together. Chill
yeah,
for a moment.
right. You can't do. Sometimes you can't do it. So there's nothing you can do. I guess she did.
Yeah.
She probably was just like, damn, I want to try to fix everything. You can't fix everything. All right, so I mean, then we got um we talked about War Machine, same old, same old.
Yeah.
Um, okay, let's talk about the Hulk. The Hulk, Bruce Banner has successfully combined the Hulk and his Bruce Banner persona, where he's basically his self with the Hulk strength. He's not
Yeah.
quite as big though as the Hulk is he?
No.
It seems like
No.
he's big, but not as big. Was I
Yeah.
correct in that assumption?
I think so. He looked a little smaller than,
Right,
well, notably smaller than the Hulk.
right, because he was can wear like shirts and shit. Because matter of fact, that's why I said the humor was so on point because they said they was like, he's like, yeah, I know, I got a shirt on. Everybody was
like,
like,
like, you might want to smash it. I mean, all right, I guess. Let me just.
right. So the thing was, he was big and green, not as big, but he's big and green, but he still talked like Bruce Banner, which was kind of funny. But it was funny how he was just kind of like he was loving it. He was living it up. You know what I'm saying? He was
Yep.
just kind of like carefree, and people was taking pictures with him and stuff. He was like, "Hey, hey, say Hulk smash." You know what I'm saying? He was just like living it up. So I said I
Oh
like what
yeah.
they did with him because I couldn't figure what to do with him.
Well,
How you
and
feel?
also in as much as anyone's a fan of the way Mark Ruffalo plays Bruce Banner, folks come to see the Hulk.
Right. So he kind of gave him
You
both.
know. So now we get both. So like, if you there to see the Hulk, there's the Hulk. If you there for Bruce Banner, there's Bruce Banner. They're both here 24/7 now. You
Yeah.
know.
Which came where I said the humor in this movie was off the chain, which led to this one moment where Ant-Man, where the kids take a picture with the Hulk, and then Scott Lang was like, "Hey, I'm Ant-Man. Y'all want to take a picture with me?" They was like, "No, who are you?" They was like, they was like, they was like, I did something with the Avengers too. You can take a picture with me. They was like, "No, I'm cool. I'm cool."
like it's like I think we need to go.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I know. And this little dude was like, he took the phone. He was like, "Here, take the picture of Ant Man." And they was like,
no.
he said he's saying no. He's just here, take your goddamn phone. So yeah, the humor was
Uh,
on point, man. I was so everybody dealing with it in different ways or whatever. So and bringing up Scott Lang, this is the reason why they had the idea of, because now they feel like Thanos is got rid of the stones and he's dead. There's nothing we can do. So pretty much everybody just like moved on with half the population. So they was like, hey, we just gonna have to live with half the population. Thanos gone, ain't no more threat. And I mean, in all honesty, he could have helped. He could have helped the world probably. so,
Uh,
um, this is the thing. Scott Lang, if anybody saw Ant-Man and the Wasp, which that movie was pretty much just to set this up. Now we
yeah.
understand the quantum realm a little bit. So that basically they can use the quantum realm to travel through time. That is the whole premise. Don't ask me how that work. They kind of was vague on that.
It's to do with quantum entanglement
Right,
and
right, right. But see,
yeah.
the vaguer the better, because if you sit
Oh
there
yeah.
and give us a detailed analysis how is the theory of how it's supposed to work, that ain't gonna do
And then
nothing but
have some
just
smart people
make your
spit out
head
some
hurt.
words that could mean something.
Right, that ain't gonna do nothing but just make your head hurt. So they just kind of, they kind of just kind of briefly talked about it, and was like, hey, we could go back in time and get the stones before he got the stones and did the snap and saved everybody. Though they was like, that could work. That could work. So that was kind of like the plan, uh, getting the stones. And we didn't talk about how they saved Tony Stark, which Captain Marvel saved him. You know,
Yeah.
cool. They did a good job. You think Robert Downey Jr. lost all that weight, or they just did some CGI? Because he was skinny, like, because he was supposed to be ain't ate in like weeks,
Yeah.
and he was
I
like,
mean, I don't know, man, because it's kind of like
they did a good
they.
job on that though.
Either way, man, I'm convinced. So
Yeah, I know. Um,
look like he went on a coke diet, man.
he was tripping too, boy, because he was mad as fuck when he came back to Earth.
I told you,
Yeah, hey, he was like when they was like, "All right, Tony, calm
man.
down." Now, fuck, calm down. Yeah, he took his arc reactor off and all that shit. but
Yeah, he fell out hard, man.
but yeah, Tony got saved. I forgot to mention Captain Marvel just ran up there and saved him. I guess let's just get it out the way with. They didn't make a big deal. They didn't make a big spectacle of how they saved him because he was adrift in space. But Captain Marvel saved him. Cool because she can just fly through space and anywhere. She can pretty much do anything they need her to do. Like
Yeah,
they don't have no limit on her powers. Like you know what I'm saying?
nah, none.
So okay, man, I want to talk about is this okay? So let's talk about once they made the plan go through, and when they went and got the stones, they had. And this is the brilliant part of this whole movie of the writing, which I think this have been done before, but not quite like this because not um not in movies that's been coming out for 10 years. We basically got the chance to go back into every single movie. So they kind of did a Back to the Future Part 2 thing, but they did it so good because it was so many different movies, so many different stones that it just kind of like took you back to when you first saw that movie. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
basically, they went in back and get the stones every time they had a stone, they went back to get them, and they had to interact with a old self from those movies. So they went back to the year 2014, 2012. Like, what was okay? They went back to the first Avengers 2012. They went back
hmm
to
uh,
Guardians of the Galaxy 2014, Thor Ragnarok. No,
Thor:
not
The
Thor
Dark
Ragnarok.
World.
Thor: The Dark World 2013. What's the other ones? They went to
That was it.
no, 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 no. It was
Oh
all
no, they
six.
also went to what was that?
Uh,
57, 1957.
no, no. Okay, look, they got the
Because
Tesseract.
because
They no,
originally they only went
they went in
originally they only
2012
went
to get
back
the
to three time
Tesseract.
periods.
I know they went back to 2012 to get the Tesseract, but when they failed, they went back
and
to
the and
2000
the
to
and the Mind
1970.
Stone.
Who had the Mind Stone?
It was in Loki's scepter.
Okay, so they got that. They got the scepter, and then from 2012, I'm sorry, and then what was that? What year was they trying to get the Tesseract? Oh, they had
I
the
think.
Tesseract and the scepter in 2012.
Yeah,
So they was both in Avengers, because I
yeah.
remember that was in that case, and so that was those two stones. What other stone was it?
Uh,
And the
they
Guardians of the
they
Galaxy,
went to
the
Guardians of the
red one.
Galaxy to get the Power Stone
So
and
it's
the
still two
Soul
more.
Stone.
And then Black Widow and Hawkeye had to get the what was that, the Power Stone or
Soul.
the Soul Stone? Yeah, it's one more though.
And Thor: The Dark World for the Ether, and then oh no, that's right. They because during the Avengers, Hulk went after the Time Stone.
Oh yeah, the Time Stone. That's the other one. That's the other one. Okay, so each and every one of these when they got the stone, they kind of had to interact with their old self, because they could have picked different times though to
I
get them.
mean, really, only the only one that interacted with their old self was Captain America.
What I'm saying is I guess they picked those times because that's when they exactly where they knew those stones were exactly at.
Hmm.
So that makes sense. And yeah, let's talk about that Captain America scene, man. Captain America ran into the 2012 Captain America. I don't, you know what I don't understand? Why was they dressing like their old self so they can blend in?
Yeah,
Um,
like, yeah.
and they gave us the funniest joke. They gave us the funniest joke that was in the funniest joke that was in this movie, man. When they
Oh
was like,
man,
Tony Stark was like, man, he said, well, your ass, he said, those pants look tight, make your ass look big or something like that.
it was
And he
like
was,
that old suit didn't do nothing for your ass. And then
yeah,
Ant Man's like,
he's like, that's
"Hey, don't
America's
say that.
ass.
That's America's ass."
Yeah.
Like
And then,
homeboy even saluted to it.
but no, the funny part was when Steve Rogers interacted with his old self, and they had to fight. You know, he had to fight his old self, and it cracked me up when he say, "I could do this all day." Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like shut your ass up. That was good, man. I'm sorry, that
Like,
was genius.
I love that scene, man. Like, this, I can do this. Yeah, yeah, I get it. I know.
I know you can do this all day, shit. But no, but when he beat him and took the stone, and he looked down, I was like, damn, that is America's ass. Man, I laughed so hard.
Oh man,
So anyway, but this is the part to me that was a little too convenient. Um, Everybody pretty much had something in their past that they ran into, and it was like coincidentally ran into. Like, come
yeah,
on, y'all, they shouldn't have. They could have, they could have done. I don't want to. I don't want. That's a nitpick because the
yeah,
movie was epic, but it's just stuff like when Tony Stark went to get the Tesseract, he ran into Howard Stark. Howard Stark
yeah.
wasn't working that day. He just happened to show up, And I'm looking like, and then when Captain America was hiding from the guards, he just ran into Peggy Carter's office. Didn't even know that was her office. It was just happened
Nope.
to be that was her office. I'm looking like, come
Yeah.
on, y'all. Why are y'all
And
doing?
and she just happened to never look up into the window he was
Why he was
standing in.
standing right in front of her? He was standing right in front of her with the blinds halfway open. You can see a person in front of you in the next office with the lights not all the way off. I'd be like, who is this creepy motherfucker in this office right here? You know what I'm saying?
It was like that was my biggest problem. Is like the meetings were just way too convenient.
Yeah. I mean, I overlooked a lot of that stuff, um, but I was kind of like saying, come on, y'all was so great up to that. I mean, I know that it might have just be too much. I was just like, maybe they should just have them seek them out. That would
Yeah,
be more believable. It's like, okay, let me find my dad real quick. Since, oh yeah, my dad. Like maybe he could have been looking at the the sign in sheet and saw Howard Stark name on there. Well, let me go holler at
Yeah,
him. You know, and then he could have been like, "Oh, there go Peggy Carter office," you know. But no, they made it look like it was just a coincidence.
yeah. I will say one thing I wasn't mad at was they took some time out of the movie to make Peter Quill look like more of an idiot.
Oh my god, I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that. You want to talk about that, or you want to talk about Thor? It's so much shit to talk about.
Oh man. Well, because like Thor, let's get into that.
To Thor, no, let's get Peter Quill out the way with. So because we talking about the gems, we don't want to switch. We should have talked about that. When we talk about the characters,
Right,
but
right,
let's
right.
talk about the gems. So one, as you know, one of the gems were in Guardians of the Galaxy, and as everybody know, at the beginning of the movie, they showed this dance number with Chris, what's his name?
Pratt.
Yeah, Chris Pratt singing to what's the name of that song? Come Get Your Love. I don't even. I guess that's the name of the song, but he's
Yeah.
singing "Come Get Your Love," and they playing it, on the, so we the audience is hearing the song and it's really, digging it, and he dancing to it, he doing all this stuff. It went hard, but from their point of view, he just looked like a moron with some earphones on, singing out loud, dancing for no reason. It was so funny, and
Oh
that's why I like
man.
Nebula, because every time people look at her like, "This is your boy," and she'd be like, "Yeah."
Hey, look. No, one of my favorite lines in that movie when
You talking about Gamora?
we probably shouldn't get to that. We shouldn't get to that yet.
Okay,
Yeah,
we'll get there,
yeah,
but
we'll get there.
basically they was like, he's like, so he's an idiot. She just like look down like, yeah,
Yeah.
like, I know he's supposed to be in charge, but he's a fucking idiot. But no, that was, why it was so dope, because seeing it from another point of view, so we got a chance to see all these movies from other points of views. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? That's what made it so funny. Uh, yeah, if you seen this dude dancing to some earphones, just spinning around and shit without no music playing, he looks like a moron.
Yeah. When they say sing like nobody's listening or dance like nobody's looking, it
Yeah.
don't work when someone's right there, man.
But not also when you got high expectations for this person, you thinking this person is like somebody important, and then you come
Yeah.
out and see that shit, you be like, really, dude?
Like
So
with a
this your
name
boy?
like Star Lord, dude saved the galaxy once. He must be the dude, right? Oh, he's just an idiot.
So this your boy? So, and it was and I really like how they just handled Quill, because when they take the stones, they'll have to interact with the other people that had the stones. So the Quill, they just knocked them out with like, bing. All right, let's get the stones. Like,
Like, I'm sick of
perfect.
this dude.
I know. I know, perfect. This dude's a moron. Bing. But um, that was one of the stones. But what this led to was Thanos found out what they was doing. Not the Thanos. The Thanos in the regular timeline is already dead, but this is the past Thanos, where Nebula, and that was kind of wild. Her past self was interacting with her, well, not interacting, but her past self was playing back recordings from her future self. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
I don't see how that happened.
Well, because she has cybernetic implants in her brain.
Yeah, I know.
You
That's
know,
just, yeah,
the firmware probably isn't all that different. So once she was in the same time period, that shit just synced up.
yeah. That was weird, but I mean, and that was cool. So when that happened, Thanos got hip to their plan. Was like, okay, so this whole dynamic changed Thanos. Where in the first movie, Thanos was kind of sympathetic. He had a real goal. This movie, he just, and you can like this or not like this. They turned him into a stock villain.
Yeah.
Um, I think I kind of like it, because I feel like they give me somebody to hate, because we already not really hate, but somebody to
To
for
root against.
right, to root against and to have them to fight. Because in the first one, I felt so sympathetic for Thanos. I almost was on Thanos' side on the first one, and
Yeah.
on this one, they just turned him into like they call him the Mad Titan. He just was a villain. stock
You
villain.
know
Just
that and they did something in this one that I was kind of mad they didn't do in Infinity War. They let him keep his armor, like
yeah,
because once Homeboy is just rolling around in some skinny jeans and a wife beater, you
yeah,
know, talking to his daughter, and I
yeah. The look in this movie made him more of a villain too. I'm
yeah
pretty sure that's all by design. They all knew that.
yeah
Taking his armor off in the first movie made him more human. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So
Like once he takes that golden armor, I was like, oh, so he's just kind of a dude, you
right,
know.
and so when he found out about these stones, I mean, when he found out what they doing, he's like, well, you know what? I had. So he kind of really realized, damn. Once I did all that shit, they just killed me and they ain't grateful. Fuck them. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like that was kind of like his mindset. And he was like, well, shit, I'm gonna let them collect all these stones and I'm gonna just get them, just steal them from them.
Yeah,
And like I
which
said,
again, it's like the mate, like the one of the only caveats to the whole plan was if anyone finds out and can get to us, all the stones are in one place.
yeah, I know. And I mean that worked for. I mean, it's actually a good plan on his part.
Yeah,
but but yeah, I was. It was like one of the moments where okay, now we got a proper villain. I mean, I think that was the right thing to do. We got our proper villain, and now he's letting them do their thing, and now we get to see all this cool stuff. But after all that, after it's all said and done, it ain't gonna just work like they want it to work. So they're gonna have to get it from this villain.
yep,
So I thought that all worked out, man. By changing Thanos' whole dynamic, because you got to remember this ain't the Thanos that you know. This is actually a different Thanos from a different timeline, and just getting that piece of information, um, finding out about his future, that changed him completely. He's completely evil.
because also this isn't the Thanos that sacrificed the only thing he loved to get to that point.
Right, right. So now he just literally the Mad Titan.
Yeah,
so so we get to this point where they are doing that, and like I said, what's her name? Nebula, past Nebula, which was a good move by. This would make this movie so more interesting. They took the past Nebula and they replaced her with the future Nebula, so they can basically put a spy in their ranks. That
yeah.
was that made me more attention, that just made it more exciting that it wasn't it ain't gonna go as planned. So what's gonna happen
Well,
with
like
that?
especially because like I love how easy it is for past Nebula to play future Nebula because the only difference is their allegiances. Like
Yeah,
they
and a
they
little and a
they
little metal piece on her head.
you know what I'm saying? So it's like it was nothing to make that happen.
Yeah, I was like, the difference is that little metal piece on her head. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I said the difference was that little metal piece on her head.
Yeah. Like that was it. Like they literally just plucked the metal piece off of one nebula, plopped it onto the other.
But yeah, and that's because I think she got damaged in the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
But anyway, I thought that made it real interesting, and we didn't talk about Thor, so let's talk about Thor, man. So this was one of the biggest spoilers in the movie where they turned Thor into the Big Lebowski. What
Yeah.
was
Absolutely, man.
why? Okay,
Like,
so first in Thor Ragnarok, he was a dude, bro, a dumb football player. Now he's the lazy dude. He had a gut. Like Thor had the biggest gut.
bruh.
You should have
Like,
heard the audience when they showed Thor with his gut. You should have heard the audience. They were like, "Oh hell no! What the fuck?"
oh man, you know there was some women in that audience that were not pleased.
So Thor was so broken up about what happened that he just got depressed and just started playing video games and eating and drinking beer and didn't
Yeah.
do nothing. He stayed in the house, drank beer with and they brought what's the dude named
Korg
Korg?
and Meek.
Yeah, amen. So they got them. He was just playing video games, getting fat, and he just like he kind of a mess. Like Thor was
Yeah,
a mess. He
they
couldn't
turned Thor into a hot mess, dude. Like
get.
even like they had the whole get your crap together. It's time to go be a hero moment.
And
And
he
he's like,
still was breaking
yeah,
down.
no, I'm gonna go get some beers. Like we got beers on the ship. I'm in.
No, he said, "What kind?"
Right, right. It was like the only reason they got him on is was like, look, we got beer.
But
Uh,
no,
like Thor is effed up in this, man.
yeah. I mean, it worked though because guess what? That is something that you will never see in a superhero movie. You never seen that, and that's pretty much consistent with Thor character now. He's pretty much comedy. Like he
Yeah,
can't go back to the old Thor. He can't go back to the serious Shakespearean Thor. He gotta stay the comedy dude. He gotta stay the
yeah,
dude.
yeah.
He even had the
Can't go back to
fingerless
being Shakespeare in
gloves.
the Park. He's the dude now, you
Yeah.
know.
He even dressed like the dude. Like what?
Like, wait, look, like he he didn't take those mittens off, man. Those wool gloves he was wearing, he didn't
Yeah,
take those off
those the
the
fingerless
entire
gloves.
movie.
That's like what Bones were those like homeless guys always got those gloves. So I'm like the
Yeah,
fingerless gloves.
like like that last sad scene in the movie, he's still wearing them. He just swapped them for some black ones.
Oh yeah. That's what I said. He never came out of his he never came out of his this dude persona. It's like that's who he is now. Although I do appreciate when it was time to fight, they didn't have him come back with a six pack. He still had
Yeah,
the gut. He still
yeah,
fought with the gut. Don't get me wrong, and he still could fight. But
yeah. He
they
he laid
kept
it
it
down, but
right. They
he
kept it
still had that
real.
gut.
Right. They kept it real because if he'd have came back, oh yeah, Asgardians lose weight fast when we need to. That'd have been just the
The
dumbest shit ever. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
don't come at me with that.
right, dude. You was just fucking fat as hell, and you still fat, but you still the
Oh yeah,
dude. So, um, let's push to this last battle, man. So once they get all these Infinity Stones, um, and you wondering who's going to snap their finger, and the Hulk did it
mm.
because, and I'm watching the movie with Wilbert, and I'm telling him, Wilbert, like, so when they trying to get the glove away from Thanos, Wilbur talks so, oh, why don't I just put it on? Why don't I just put it on? I say, Wilbert, you cannot just put that shit on, man. That's the point.
He saw Guardians, right?
I mean, yeah, but it's just he wasn't thinking. But it's the
Yeah,
whole point. You can't just put that shit on. You know what I'm saying? You will die.
yeah. That's not
So
just anyone that wants it can put it on and be cool.
right. So that's why Hulk had put it on because he was the one that was only strong enough so he wouldn't die, but he almost did die. You know,
Yeah,
and we could talk about he went on ahead, he snapped his fingers and brought back everybody that which was a fucking epic ass moment where he brought
yeah.
back every person that got decimated. And before I talk move forward with that, we need to talk about that final battle, which was, man, they played this music. It was so fucking epic, dude. Oh my
There
god.
was there was only one scene I had a problem with in
What?
the final battle.
What? Oh, the girl scene.
Yeah,
Okay, we'll get to that. So, I love the setup for this scene, dude. Thor got his gear back on. He got his Thor shit back on. He got the
yeah.
Stormbreaker and
His
Mjolnir.
beard even got braided
He
up.
got it braided, he braided his beard up and shit. And I love the walk to the battle where Captain America and Iron Man walk up to Thor. Thor just looking, right? So he back. Thor is back, right? It's intense, right? He just looking.
Right.
And they playing this epic ass music. And he said, what he been doing? Nothing. He just been waiting. They said, well, let's get him something to wait on. I forgot what the line they said. Let's go get him then. He said, well, let's kill him properly now. And then you saw the lightning come through Thor and the lightning come down. That shit was so dope, bro. So
Man.
so and then we get a nice fight. Now I'm gonna tell you what I said. Captain America went up times 10 for me is when now we saw in Avengers 2 that he moved Mjolnir a little bit. So Captain America straight wielded Mjolnir. And not only that, as soon as he grabbed that motherfucker, he used it 10 times better than Thor used it. When
You know,
he just got the damn thing and
like look,
he was whooping
he's
his
already
ass.
pulling off combos, man, with the
Man, that
shield
was
and the hammer.
dope. So he threw it at her, brought it back, threw the shield. He was like doing a little combo thing. Then he threw the shield. Then he threw Mjolnir at the shield when he knew it'd make that shockwave, because that's vibranium. Dog, I'm like, dude, Captain America is dope.
Yeah, yeah. It's
The
like,
fact that he knew how to use that right away, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause that's his first time grabbing Mjolnir. You know, that was the first time.
you know, somehow he even figured out how to use it to call down lightning.
Did he do that?
Yeah.
Oh, well, shit. He's worthy.
You know, it's like I'm actually kind of bummed out that I kind of want to get like at least like some shorts, if not an actual like filler film of just him taking the stones back.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna get to that. All right. So anyway, the they had this final battle, and they pretty much they fighting Thanos. The ones it was a Captain America, Thor, and Iron Man, and they putting up a good ass fight, but he's getting the best of them.
Yeah.
And it was an epic ass moment, dude, when they was like, "Hey, Steve, you hear me? On your left." I was like, "That was so dope, dog. That was hella dope, man." Cause
Oh man.
I wasn't expecting it, you know. And so you heard Sam Wilson, the Falcon, which actually he's a support character, but I believe he elevated himself over support status to me because he's he's just a good character and played by Anthony Mackie, which is a good actor. And he's like on your left, and then so here come everybody that got decimated coming through these portals, and you see all these portals that Doctor Strange was making. Then they show Spider-Man fly in. That shit was dope, man.
Yeah, man. Like I'm so uh there's a bit there after like because they even managed to show you everybody that came back getting a piece of the action too.
Yeah.
So it's not like they show you them heading into battle and then you focus in back on the main dudes. Like everybody gets a little shine.
Right, right. And
Even Star Lord got some shine.
yeah, which was a good moment because, as you know, Gamora, the one Gamora we know cannot come back because once you
Right.
sacrifice somebody for the Power Stone, they cannot come back. And we're gonna talk
So
about that a little in a minute. But the Gamora from the past was still here, and Star Lord thought that there was the Gamora he knew. And he tried to walk up to her and kiss her, and she kneed him in the balls. She said, "Don't ever touch me, dude."
hey, look, I love like she turns to Nebula. You're sure this is the one?
He said,
It's like your choices were him, a raccoon, or a tree.
"Yeah." No, he was the only man on the damn ship. Anybody else probably would have got it with her if he wasn't the only dude that was there. And
Uh,
and he even had a funny line. He was like, "You missed the first time, but you got me on the second time."
no, he's like, you missed me on the first time. You got them both the second time.
So
Oh man.
they even had the humor in there, but it was a dope moment to see all the characters that we been following for 10 years all show up at the end. Like everybody showed up at the end to help in this final battle. Because Thanos, not they wasn't all just fighting Thanos. Thanos pulled out all his big army. And
You
it
know,
was kind of like,
the Black Order was back in play.
yeah. And it was kind of like, it was looking like, oh shit, it's only like 4 of them. And he just brought his whole army in. You know, I was like, oh shit, they're going to lose. And then, hey, Steve, on your left. And all of them, that was so dope, dog. And so it was, you know, so they had a nice little battle, man. So we're gonna uh so we're gonna talk about the last thing. Oh, before that, the people who died was Black Widow, She had to got sacrificed for the Power Stone, where
So
Soul Stone, right? Where her and Hawkeye
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye was going to sacrifice himself, but in the back of his mind, he really didn't want to.
No, no.
But so they kind of fought over who get to sacrifice themselves, and she got the best of them, and she sacrificed herself. I didn't really see that coming, man. It's like I feel like they didn't really, and then they asked her, "Do she have any family?" Like they never really talked about that. Does she
No.
have any family? And then the Red Skull said her father's name, and then he's like, he knew your father's name. She's like, well, I didn't. So I was like, it's like, damn, she kind of got a tragic little past thing,
Well, like, because I was even thinking like they were going to put in some caveat, like if you're willing to sacrifice yourself to get the Soul Stone, then you just come back with the Soul Stone in your hand.
Nope.
Nope, don't work like that.
So Black Widow's not coming back. She died. But I feel like it was a fitting end. She did good. She sacrificed herself for the greater good. So moving on, we had Tony Stark. Now, I don't know. Did he make a special? He made a special glove that fits.
Yeah,
So I guess that glove do get bigger. So that's the same glove that the Hulk used.
yeah,
So anyway, basically what he did was in the final battle, he just took the stones out of the Infinity Gauntlet. Oh, that was a different glove. He took stones out
right,
of
right.
the Infinity
I guess he
glove.
just reconfigured the one he
Right,
was already wearing.
right. And then he just put them he put them in his own glove, which as we talked about before, with a regular person, that'll kill you.
Yep.
And he snapped his fingers and he brought back. No, he actually got rid of the whole Black Order,
Yeah.
which was a dope ass scene in itself. And it was kind of like a fuck you, like we got you back the way you did us, we doing you, you know. So Tony did not make it. Tony Stark died. He after that snap. You know what? The one thing kind of bothered me. I ain't gonna say bothered me. What's the name of Pepper Potts? Didn't look like she was that broken up over it. Or maybe Gwyneth
Peter Parker was
Paltrow was
more
just.
broken up over it than she was.
I know, and I officially don't really like him as Peter Parker, but I'm gonna talk about that a little later. He was just sounding like a little whiny. He just it's okay. You've been in the MCU for about 4 years now. You are
Because
not that
you
young
remember
no
what I
more.
said. You remember what I said. This is the problem when you pick someone as Peter Parker that comes off too easily as a kid.
Yeah, he's trying too hard. Like Mr. Stark, I turned to dust. I turned to dust, and Mr. Stark, shut up. Okay, so um, moving on. Tony snapped his fingers, got rid of, and Thanos decimated Thanos too, which is it's kind of. It was like, okay, yeah, got you. So at the end was a funeral for Tony Stark, which was fitting, man. I really like
Yeah.
the way they did that. And did I miss anything, man? I know it was so much shit happened. I know I missed a couple things. And we probably gonna do
Uh,
a whole nother discussion because I know Wilbur want to get in on that. But
right.
if I did miss anything, I know, and plus we got to go to work, so I'm gonna just move on. But the last, what happened after the funeral?
We had. Did they go from there into the bit with Iron Man with
Captain
Captain
America. Yeah,
America going back, or did they
that's what
do
I
the
want to talk about.
Guardians bit first?
Um, either one, but that's the part I was talking about, the Captain America scene. I was
Yeah.
talking about I almost cried, and why I
Oh
almost
yeah.
cried because, dude, okay, so Captain America went to put the stones back, and and he went on ahead stayed in the 40s or wherever year he went to. He
Yeah.
went on ahead stayed in the past where, and I was like, man, he deserved this, dude. He gave up his life for this stuff, and he never got a chance to have a life. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Like
Because
Steve
the whole time
Rogers,
he's been in the present, he's been going from one fight to the
fighting for
next.
other people, trying to help people. He never got a chance to live his life, and he always was this optimistic good guy for everybody else. And he went back and he stayed, and then he came back in the present as an old man. And I was like, I didn't cry, but I almost did because I was like, good for you, Steve. Like,
I only have one problem with that.
what, man?
So we already found out, like back in the second Captain America, I guess Peggy got uh
He just go back before that dude. And if
no,
it
I'm
is,
just
man,
because
man, I'll whoop that.
she
He'll just whoop that dude ass.
but
She'll
she had
she
no,
gonna
but
take
she
over
had
then.
kids with what's his name,
Dude, look,
Dum Dum Dugan.
did she?
Yeah, dude. Because remember in the second in Winter Soldier,
Yeah,
he met Sharon Carter,
that was her daughter.
her daughter or granddaughter, I think, granddaughter,
Oh, but
and she
look,
was
no,
macking on him.
look. I know, and it looked like they was gonna hook up, which was kind of weird. But look,
Yeah.
look,
So it's
no,
like the whole thing.
no, he went back before that. I'm sorry. So that mean that person won't exist then, huh?
Time travel.
I know, but you know what? We ain't worried about that. All right, I'm not worried about that little stuff because if you want to pick holes, you can pick holes in a lot of shit. You know, I'm just on the main. I'm on the main stuff on the
Like
main
it's
thing.
the only thing they meddled with that I can't see a clean like
Oh,
resolution
come on,
for.
dude! All this shit they mess with, and you worried
No,
about
no,
that?
because all of that stuff is like misplacing the stones. They go and they pick them back up. You know what I'm saying? But
All right,
like,
so let's not dwell on that. Plus,
all right,
I got to get ready to go to work. So, like I said, Captain America, Steve Rogers put the stones back, and he stayed in the past where he's from, and just became an old man. So in 2019, he's like 80 years old, 90 years old, and he just walked up as an old man, like, "Hey y'all, I stayed." And I'm like, good for you, Steve, man, because you gave your whole life for this shit, and you've been fighting. You ain't got nothing out of it, but more work. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
good for Steve. I was just happy for him. So and then he gave the shield to Sam. Was like, hey, you can take over as Captain America, which I think that happened in the comics, right?
yeah.
So yeah, excellent
Like
ass
even
movie.
like even in so much as he gave his blessing, like he even looks back at Buck and Buck's like, yeah, man, it's you. You know,
Yeah, I heard they're gonna do a TV show for them
I'm down for that.
on a streaming service. It's gonna be
I'm
Bucky
definitely
and
down for that.
yeah, I know Bucky and Sam Wilson the Falcon. But it was an epic ass movie. I'm gonna wrap it up. This movie was man. This is the best comic book movie of all time. I don't think they're gonna be able to top this. And
Nah,
I'm looking
ain't
at
no way.
I looked at DC like DC. Look, hold on, hold on. The executives in the office like, wait a minute, we could do something like this. We could do time travel. We got the Flashpoint paradox, and the dude's like, man, stop. Just no, just stop.
You're embarrassing
So wait a minute,
yourself.
I know. So wait a minute, we can do something like this. We can fix this. We can make something just as good. No, no, man, just no. They beat us. It ain't no more. Can we catch up to them? It's over. Let's go back to making Bugs Bunny cartoons.
No, like this when you gonna find out like in a few years that the executives over at Warner Brothers was trying to figure out time travel so they could go back in time and make their stuff right the first.
Man, if they try to copy off of it, they're gonna make themselves look. They gonna make themselves look stupid. You know,
Yeah,
they be like, well, we got the
absolutely.
flashpoint. You know, we can go back in time too. We can do it too. Man, no, man, no. They put the nail in the coffin with this dog. It ain't no more
Yeah,
DC and Marvel. You
like
DC is now number two. It ain't no
like
who gonna get the
it's to
number
the
one
point where
spot.
it's like
It's clear.
there's comic book movies and there's Marvel movies, two different genres.
Like y'all made it clear. Y'all are number one. DC's number two. I mean,
Eh,
just be happy with the number two trophy. Just like
hey, look, Valiant's got that
second
Bloodshot
place.
movie coming out, and if it's any kind of decent, DC gets dropped down to number three.
Oh wow, come on now. Sensei, I got the second place trophy. Man, give me the goddamn trophy. Anyway, break that shit. But anyway, man, let's wrap it up. Let's wrap it up. Thanks for checking out the video. We probably gonna do some more discussion because I know it's a lot of stuff I left out, and I'm gonna have time to write down
There's
all
a lot
this.
to unpack in this
I
movie
know.
anyway.
So we're gonna probably do some more discussion and with the other member of our group that's he's a little busy right now. And I promised him we'll do a discussion. So we'll probably do some more. So as of right now, we're gonna sign off. All right, thanks for checking out the video and we out of here, man. Peace.
Peace.